Hey YouTube friends, my name's Brendan Smith. This is Jason Kurtzen. Toby's on vacation this week. We have got huge news out of Northern Ireland, Lowden Guitars. Jason, as you probably already know, Ed Sheeran just released the Equals album. It just came out. And George Lowden and Ed Sheeran wanted to do a guitar that kind of commemorated the release of the album, hence the Sheeran Equals Lowden.
So what about these is different, or what have they put on that's going to separate it from some of their other models?
Good question. Okay, so first off, they're only building 3,000 of these. Okay. So 3,000, and after that, that's it. Okay, they are a Sitka spruce over walnut. That's a mahogany neck. You've got an ebony board. It does have an onboard LR Bags pickup as well. Some of the cosmetic specs, you've got the equal sign right here. On the back, I don't know if you can zoom in and see this, but right here on the heel cap, you've got a butterfly. And there's also one on the truss rod overlay. So
wow, very, very simple and elegant. And this is Sitka over walnut, yeah?
That's correct. That's correct. Let's give them a quick listen, Jay, and
sure,
do a sample. Nice.
Sounds pretty great.
Okay, Jay, so this guitar is based off the wee Lowden size. Now the previous Sheerans were based on two different sizes, the wee Lowden and the S, the slightly larger, the S model. So these guitars are only available in the small body, in the wee. Yeah. So what do you think of the tone?
I think overall, you can definitely hear when you get down into some of these chords here. There's a pretty prominent mid-range, so like you can hear especially around. There's a pretty deep lower mid-range there, so that boosts the tonality of your lower notes. So when you're playing, you know, just triads or those low notes don't sound hollow, they have a lot of body to them. And additionally, there's a good amount of higher mid-frequency too, so when you're getting up into these notes, they still sound really warm and tempered. Yeah. So there's a lot of body to the sound, and I think overall it's just a very warm tone. I think the walnut definitely benefits the warmth as a whole, and yeah, I think it sounds great.
Yeah, well, Ed Sheeran is this is a guy, as you know, who can play any guitar he wants. He's been with Lowden a long time. Right. I know he had a deal with Martin at some point, but I know he's always had Lowdens in his arsenal. And now I believe he plays them exclusively.
Right, Irish pride.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Jace, what kind of player do you think, is this strictly a singer-songwriter kind of thing, or what kind of styles and players would kind of gravitate towards this small body guitar, do you think?
I would say, well, the intended market seems to be more of the singer-songwriter type, because that's what Ed Sheeran is and that's what he does. But I would say that he's a loop station artist, of course. So I would imagine that these guitars were built with that in mind. You know, they've got the LR Bags pickup systems in them, so they're meant to be plugged in. You know, at least the manufacturer believes so. And I'd love to plug one of these in and see how it works through a loop station. But I would imagine with the walnut back and sides that you get a really deep kind of a drum sound to it when you're doing that, because that's a big part of looping. You know, you really want your kick drum sound to be deep and full and like a kick drum. So I would say that that's definitely a market. I mean, just due to the size, I would say it's a good travel guitar. In your hotel room or whatever have you. It's got more than enough body and sound to make you feel comfortable while you're, you know, trying to write songs or sing or whatever. Just very, very deceivingly small guitar because it has a very huge sound to it.
Yeah, and you know, on that note, you know, I don't know if this is George Lowden's genius when it comes to bracing and pairing woods, but one thing about these guitars, these little baby guitars, they don't sound like small guitars.
No, they don't.
You know, a lot of times a small body guitar can sound boxy, compressed, and not really open. And I think it's quite the opposite with these.
Yeah,
Play a couple
definitely.
chords. I mean, listen to that.
And it's really well balanced too. You know, so when you play like a chord like that, you know, so you've got your lower note, and then you've got your highest note. And the whole chord from your lowest to your highest note sounds kind of like the same amount of warmth, right? It's not like you go, and then your last note is like, ding, you know, really, really trebly and kind of off-putting. It seems to be a really well-balanced instrument that was very intentional in terms of its builds and the materials used so that you would get this nice round sound to it.
Yeah. George Lowden has always said about walnut, if you want clarity, if that is what you want, if you want that note definition and that clear, clear tone, walnut is the wood. So I got a feeling he had that in mind when he built this for Ed Sheeran, because Ed Sheeran has, you know, he has a very distinct style, and you know, you hear all the notes, whether he's strumming or he's picking or you know, whatever. But I think that's this design and the wood selection was very deliberate.
Yeah, absolutely. These are phenomenal guitars so far.
Okay, Jay, a couple more of the specs. We've got 1 3/4 inch nut width and a 24-inch scale.
Right.
Now, I like the 1 3/4 inch nut width because, like you mentioned, yeah, it could be a travel size guitar, but you don't have that little baby nut width to deal with. Like, you know, some people don't like that, me included. I like a nice full nut width. 1 3/4 is just perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Also, the, as I mentioned, limited edition, right? I don't know if you can actually see it. We'll try to get a close-up for you there, but the Equals label where it says 1 of 3,000. So, you know, it's, again, they're only building 3,000 of these, and after that, they're gone. So, which brings me to my next point, availability. So, anyway, 3,000. I'm not sure exactly how many are being distributed in the US versus Europe, but I know that we are getting about 50. We've already sold, I think, around 20 or so, and they are coming in deliveries of 8. So if you are one of those folks that ordered early, the first 8 to be exact, you're going to get your guitar probably next week. So that's pretty awesome news.
Yeah, that is really cool. And then how long will it take after that to kind of distribute the rest of them? Just progressively, or?
Good question. Okay, we should get our second batch of 8 by the end of the year. Then we'll get another one in January, we'll get another one in February. So, I mean, the best, if you want one of these guitars, Jay, just get your order in early. And it doesn't matter if you're getting it from Heartbreaker or another dealer, because we're all in the same boat. These are kind of trickling out of Ireland, and as soon as they show up, they're gone, they're spoken for.
Right.
So the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take for you to get your guitar, obviously.
And we will run out eventually.
We will all run out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's hear a little bit more of that thing, man. You know, Jay, another thing that I love about these guitars, okay, so when they came out, I think, what was it, 3-4 years ago? When they first came out with the first Sheeran?
2019, 18.
Yeah, George Lowden made a critical decision to have these guitars built in Ireland. Now, a lot of other companies out there, I won't mention names, but a lot of other companies out there, when they decide to do their lower price point instruments, they'll ship off construction to Mexico, Indonesia, wherever. And it was really important that George had eyes on these things. So they're being built in Northern Ireland. That adds a lot to the cost, but you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Everything you're getting from Lowden is from Northern Ireland.
Authenticity.
And yeah, and you know, George wanted to be there when these things were being built. He wanted to be able to oversee production, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think the quality of the instrument is completely separate from the ethics of a company, but at the same time, it makes you feel better about your purchases and being supportive of a company when you know that they really care. And so a guy like George Lowden really does care about his instruments, and he wants to be present for, you know, the design and the assembly of them, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a lot of other companies are not doing that.
Yeah.
And I just think it's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
You know. So anyway, I think we covered all the bases, Jay. We talked about delivery. Price point is $1,400.
$1,400 map.
So yeah, I think that's about a wrap on the Sheeran Equals edition, you guys.
I think so.
So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope we answered all your questions. If we did not, please leave a comment below and we'll get to your questions. Like I said, guys, we're sold out of our first delivery, but we got many more deliveries on the way. So if you want one of these Sheeran Equals guitars, just give us a shout here or email us here at the store. Okay, that's about a wrap on the Sheeran Equals edition. What do you think, man?
I mean, I think these guitars are excellent, and I think they're everything that'll live up to the hype.
Yeah, I think so too. So anyway, guys, like I said, if you want to find out about the availability of these guitars, feel free to call us or email us. We do have a list going, so eventually you will get your guitar. Just give us a call here at Heartbreaker, shoot us an email. We look forward to talking to you. Let us know also what you think in the comments section of these guitars, guys. We'd love to hear back from you. So anyway, Jason Kurtzen, Brendan Smith, Toby's on vacation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for supporting our channel. We'll see you guys on the next video.